Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, aka the Man of Spoils, and this video we're breaking down the original script for Batman v Superman. Love it or hate it, the film has become a huge talking point in the comic book community since its release. The Snyder Cut version of Justice League still trends on Twitter regularly, and it's hard to deny its following even if you don't like the movie. But how did it all begin? Well, throughout this video we're going to be breaking down the original Batman v Superman script to talk about what we could have got. There will be some spoilers here in regards to the actual BVS release, so if you don't want anything ruined then I highly recommend that you turn off now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for videos like this every day, and with that out of the way I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into our breakdown of the original Batman v Superman script. Okay, so Batman v Superman was a film that I can remember being talked about when I was still in primary school. It seemed to be constantly in the planning stages at Warner Brothers, but it never really went beyond that, and at times it seemed like we would never see the world's finest facing off against each other. There were teases, glimmers of hope, and even a poster and I Am Legend that helped to fuel the fires of interest surrounding the project, but it seemed like an agonising wait before we finally got it. Now, in order to discuss the script, we have to go all the way back to 2000 when the new direction of the DCEU was first put into production. McG was originally tended to direct the first BVS movie with writers at Warner Brothers, and he worked on a script that tied into Superman Lives. That movie is a story for another video, but I'm sure as you know that film ended up dying in development hell. After it was scrapped, J.J. Abrams was hired to write a new screenplay that would ignore Superman Lives, and it would reboot Superman in a film called Superman Flyby. The movie even got greenlit, but McG stepped down from the director position to instead go off and make Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. Great choice there. Wolfgang Peterson was brought in to direct the Superman Abrams script, however this was brushed to the side after Andrew Kevin Walker pitched his idea for BVS. Warner Brothers loved it, and the Abrams script was put on hold whilst Akiva Goldsman was brought in to rewrite Walker's draft. This script went under the codename Asylum. It's online if you want to read it in full, but you're here, so I'm guessing you don't. It's a bit of a crazy story, and it's kind of all over the place, but it's a fun read if you want to see the direction that we could have got. I would say it's definitely more hopeful than watching Superman get stabbed through the chest by Doomsday, but it is very weird tonally. It sort of retconned the Batman direction at the time and ignored the goofiness and camp tone of Batman and Robin in favour of a sort of soft reboot that can still be considered canon in some ways if you want to draw the connections. The closest thing I can think to compare it to is Superman Returns, which took elements of the Christopher Reeves franchise whilst ignoring the bits that they didn't want, like that robot lady that still gives me nightmares. The final date for this script comes from June 21st, 2002, and it's the most up-to-date copy I can find. It begins in a time set roughly between 5 and 10 years of both Batman and Superman's crime-fighting career. They're best friends, and Clark is even Bruce's best man at his wedding, which we'll discuss in just a bit. After Bruce found the love of his life, he decided to quit the life of being the Dark Knight, and he's truly settled down. There's no mention of Wonder Woman or Aquaman, and at no point is the Justice League name dropped, even at the end. So we can take from this that at the point of this movie, there were very few plans to make a fully shared universe. There are, however, some notable aspects of the work that do give nods to the larger world. Barbara Gordon is now the Commissioner, and though Lois Lane plays a big part in some ways, it's because she actually divorced Clark, and this made him slightly depressed. Robin and Alfred are dead, and Bruce was at his lowest point before he met the love of his life. He does still have an AI version of Alfred, though that operates sort of similar to Jarvis and gives him someone to sound off against whilst he's sitting around brooding. It's also important to bear in mind that at the time of the script writing process, 9/11 had just happened and the world-changing event looms heavily over the work. The film actually opens with a terrorist attack on Freedom Monument, and Clark, who is at the Daily Planet, rushes to the scene. There's an amazing changing moment that happens down an elevator shaft to kickstart the film, and the script really captures the Donner feeling of the character. Superman actually manages to capture one of the terrorists, and he even manages to save their life after a mob almost beat them to death. So how come Batman hate this guy? He doesn't even kill a terrorist. Well, it's actually revealed that this terrorist is really the Joker. This plays a big part later in the script, and he becomes the reason that Batman ends up hating the Man of Steel. He should have just attached a gargoyle to his leg and made him plunge to his death off an impractically large church. In the film, we actually see a headstone that has the name Jack Napier on it, and it's clear that this is definitely the Joker, though his appearance is slightly different. It turns out in the film that Lex Luthor figured out that Bruce Wayne was Batman, and he decided to ruin his life in a number of ways, starting with the terrorist attack. We'll get into all that in just a bit, but the wedding is held, Clark is the best man, and Bruce has finally found happiness. However, on the honeymoon night, the new Mrs. Wayne is shot in the neck with a Joker toxin dart, and she dies from it. Bruce blames Clark for letting the Clown Prince of Crime live, and he states that he's going to finally end him once and for all, probably by dropping him off an even bigger church or something. Anyway, even AI Fred, it looks better if you write it down, even Alfred doesn't want him to do it, and Superman won't let him go through with it, which causes a big conflict between the two. It initially seems that Superman doesn't want him to kill the Joker because he cares about the Joker's life, but it's revealed that this actually isn't the case. At the heart of it, Superman really cares about Batman, and he knows that if he does kill the Joker, that there's no coming back from it, and that it may finally send him off the deep end. This of course juxtaposes the Snyder version of the character, in which he was quite happy with killing people should the occasion call for it, or should he be dragging a car behind him that he needs to get rid of. I'm just kidding, I love you Snyder. Now personally, I feel like this motivation is probably better than the one that we got, and though I do love BVS, I always have a problem with the reason for the fight being centered around Clark not telling Bruce what's really going on. I did see people say that Bruce was unable to hear Clark trying to reason with him because of the thickness of his helmet, and in my mind that was canon for a long time. However, you do hear Bruce reply with, "I understand" at one point, so clearly he did have at least some way to hear what he was saying. Anyway, Bruce sort of goes back and forth with Supes throughout the movie, constantly trying to kill the Joker, whilst the Man of Steel gets in his way trying to stop him. Joker actually beats Batman at one point when he goes after him, and this sends him into an even angrier, rage-filled meltdown. Bruce knows how far he needs to go to stop Joker, and he goes and steals some kryptonite just in case Superman tries to stop him. He and Superman meet again, and Bruce tells him that he is 100% going to drop the Joker off the biggest church he can find, and that if Supes gets in his way, that he's going down too. Superman tells him not to do it and says that he's going to stop him if he does, and from this point onwards, it's on. Now, this is where the big Lex twist comes into play, and it's revealed that in order to ruin Bruce's life, Lex cloned the Joker and he also created Bruce's wife. Yes, there's a lot of cloning going on. Lex's plan was to kill Superman through Bruce Wayne by making him fall in love with a woman that the Joker would then kill. He knew that Bruce would want to get revenge and that Superman would stop him, and through this the two would fight, with Batman becoming the victor because of kryptonite. Here's a plan though, just shoot Superman with a kryptonite bullet. Anyway, Batman goes after the Joker once more, but Superman arrives during this. Batman cunningly decided to don some armor laced with kryptonite, and the two go head to head. There's batarangs used, heat vision, grenades, you name it, and the two really go back and forth when duking it out. Batman even flies the Batwing into him, and it goes all out, and basically it's like a fight on Injustice 2. Superman manages to destroy Batman's armor through using his freeze breath, and then Batman ends the fight by shooting a kryptonite arrow at him. Batman then goes head to head with the Joker, who reveals Lex's plan. Bruce is devastated, and the Joker goes to stab him in the back, but Superman saves him, and the two go head to head with the Joker and his henchmen. Batman goes to kill Joker, and Superman even tells him to do it, but at the last second, Batman decides to spare him because he doesn't want to go down the dark path that it will lead to. Out of nowhere, Lex arrives in armor and states that he's disappointed in Batman for not killing the Joker and Superman. He does the old, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself, and then Batman and Superman face off against him. Lex gets dropped over the side of a ledge along with Batman, and Superman saves the latter, whilst the other seemingly tumbles to his death. His body is never found though, and at the end, Batman and Superman shake hands. Batman asks if he wants to go for a beer, and Superman says, "How about a soda?" and the two then walk off into the sunset, which ends the film. And that's the movie. There were a ton of people attached to the role of Batman, including Matt Damon, Johnny Depp, Colin Farrell, James Franco, Jude Law, and even Christian Bale, who at the same time was asked to be in Darren Aronofsky's Batman Year One. Josh Hartnett was offered the role of Superman, and filming was due to start in 2003. However, Warner Brothers decided instead to pursue solo projects, which would go on to of course be Superman Returns and Batman Begins. DC went in the direction they did, but I can't help thinking, what if? Overall, the script was a bit all over the place, but it was definitely a fun read that I recommend you check out if you have any interest in either character. I hope you enjoyed this video and this trip down memory lane, and obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts, so comment below and let me know. If you liked our breakdown, then please drop a thumbs up, and make sure you check out our video on all of the hidden details that we noticed in Batman v Superman, which is going to be linked at the end. Every month on the 15th we give away free Blu-rays, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning the Marvel Phase 3 Part 1 box set is leave a like and subscribe with notifications on. If you want to support the channel and get to see content early, then please consider clicking the join button below. You can also come chat to us on our Discord server, link below, or at DefinitionYT on Twitter. Hopefully we see you over there very soon, and thank you for watching till the end. This is a channel for people who are super into superheroes, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. I've been Definition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.